Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. Now today I am just going to make a sort of blank rag doll. Now the reason I'm doing this is basically I wanted to do things that you could kind of sell, and it's craft season in England. And as soon as September starts, we start selling Christmas stuff. So, but it's a nice thing to do if you have a child, sort of an 8-year-old child would love this, and then they can decorate it themselves. They can either decorate it with felt, or they can decorate it with pens, or if they're very competent, embroidery thread. So yes, it is basically not a kit, but a kind of thingy. So what I've got here is I have got a piece of calico, and I have folded it into 4. So I am only cutting out half of a doll, just to save that little bit of work for me. And yeah, so calico, sheeting, anything like that, nice and simple. And then, you know, stuff it and it's done. Oh, I better cut the legs open. I always do this. So there we go. So makes no difference really, but sometimes I have a fold in something and I just sew over the fold. So what we should be left with is 2 templates of a gingerbread man, a large gingerbread man. Now I have my machine all set up here, and basically I'm going to sew round here. I have to choose where I'm going to leave the turny inside out hole, and I think down the side of the rib cage is a good place. So yeah, nowhere too obvious. So I'm going to start at the side of the rib cage and just do a couple of stitches. Now because we were going to be turning this inside out, then it's a good idea to do a couple of stitches just to strengthen that opening. And then it's just a matter of following this round. Then we're going to turn it inside out, and then we're going to stuff it. Okay, I'm going to loosen my bobbin thread, and because it's puckering, and just sort this out. There we go. Still a bit tight. Making sure that I've got it spread out flat, and making sure, oh, it's really bad now. Maybe I'll just loosen the top as well. Okay. So yes, what I'm going to do is, it's a good trick to know, is I'm going to carry on sewing. Now I've got my stitches sorted out, and at the end I'm not going to do the reverse stitch or anything. I'm literally going to give myself loads and loads of thread. Why? So that I can depucker it. This is just a case of, bear with me. Yeah, it's a good thing to know. And then we're just coming round here. Okay, so I've come back to where I should stop. I'm going to take it out of the machine. I'm holding the bobbin thread and the top thread, and then starting off from where I started, I'm going to push the seam flat, resulting in all these puckers to be pushed round to the end of the sew. Now, because I've left myself loads and loads of room, then it should be fine. I shouldn't have a bigger hole. If it gets too busy, then basically I'll just clump it. There we go. So don't want them to go the other way. Round the corner. Yes, if I wanted to do gathering, how annoying would that be that I probably wouldn't be able to? So yes, what I'm basically doing is being very careful not to break the thread, because I could do, you know, I could literally just pull it and then do a couple of stitches around so that it's now straightened. There we go, so it is coming. And there we are, and I just push these off the end and then pulling up that string. And you definitely don't want any puckering around like the joins, so especially the head, it will just look really silly. There we go. And just the last corner. So the next job is to turn this inside out. Shouldn't be too hard as long as we've left the hole big enough. And I do have my trusty knitting needle here somewhere, but I'm just going to use a rubber end of the pencil. And I'm going to make a start on the limbs first. This is the top of the head. Then one arm, one leg, and the other leg. And then of course we need to stuff it. Now I always find stuffing with small balls and then pushing it out is the best way. But I always find it's best to do these edges first, and then it's just so much easier. So, there we are. will look better with some stuffing in him. So I'm going to get on with that, and then I will come back ready to sew him up. Alright, thank you ever so much. So welcome back. So he's all stuffed now. Basically I'm just going to sew up this seam. Lovely. And if I was going to sell him, I would maybe sell him with a couple of squares of felt so people can decorate with it, and or a couple of felt tip pens, and yeah, some embroidery thread just to so that they could get him going. But I would be selling him as a blank, very cheap, very quick to make, and great idea for a crafty child to play with. Alright, thank you ever so much for watching. My name is Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee.